So I wanted to talk about the nightmare that I struggled with when I first started going through menopause, perimenopause. Because if I can find one other woman who's gone through this and saved them from going down some crazy tunnels and roads, it's worth it. Because I didn't struggle with the regular menopause symptoms. What I was experiencing was more like the beginnings of MS or Lou Gehrig's disease. So I was waking up and, in general, I just didn't feel great, right? I was achy, my joints hurt, and I just felt like, okay, this is aging. But then as time progressed, I started having crazy symptoms. I started getting, my muscles started twitching everywhere, which is not good. That's not usually an MS sign. That can be a sign of some other serious neurological issues. So that was happening in my arms, in my legs. And then as time went by, as I would try to go to sleep, I would lay down and I would feel this buzzing that would start in my chest and it would work out to my arms. And again, I'm like, okay, this is some crazy neurological symptoms. What is going on? And time progressed a little more and I started noticing I wasn't walking very well. I kept tripping over everything. So I wasn't lifting my feet enough when I was walking. Now, I'm normally a little bit of a klutz, so this one didn't trigger panic in me, but I did notice I was doing it more and more often. So that got me a little concerned when I added it up with the other symptoms I was having. And then I really got scared when I started feeling like from my elbows down and my knees down. I don't know how to describe it other than it started to feel like wood. Like it felt like they weren't part of me anymore. If I tapped it, I didn't really have a sensation of feeling anything. And then when I really freaked out is when I started noticing that it was difficult for me to talk. I had to actually think about moving my lips and moving my facial muscles. It wasn't just an automatic thing anymore. So all of this had me really scared. When I looked at all the symptoms and added it up, it definitely pointed more towards Lou Gehrig's disease, which I had a friend die of, and he went quickly. So needless to say, being a health practitioner, was very scared. And there was one night that I laid in bed and I was all of a sudden just overcome with this sense of dread. And I looked to my boyfriend at the time and said, I think I'm gonna die tonight. And he was freaking out. He's like, what? Like, let's go to the ER. And I don't have a lot of faith in our health system when it comes to dealing with women and taking them seriously. We're constantly gaslit and constantly told that we're fine, it's just stress. And I said, I need to step back and look at this like I'm the doctor treating a patient because I'm too emotionally involved in this right now. So I wrote down my symptoms, I looked at everything and I said, okay, this looks like I'm struggling with some type of virus, which makes sense because when we hit menopause, our immune system takes a hit, right? So if you've ever had Epstein Barr or cytomegalovirus, and now you're in that perimenopause, menopausal stage and your immune system's not functioning well, these things never fully go away, right? They hide out. They hide out in the liver, in the spleen, in the thyroid, and they just wait. They wait till they have their moment when our immune system is not as good as it was and they can take over. And if you combine that with heavy metals, which I know I have too many of, from multiple, mercury fillings and just being exposed through my genetic line because my grandfather farmed and my mom lived on a farm. So that's been passed down genetically. So the virus combined with the heavy metal issues definitely made for these neurological symptoms. And as soon as I broke it down like that and I kind of removed myself, I was able to treat it. And within a few weeks, my symptoms were gone. So I went from thinking I was going to die to thinking that, okay, I got this, it's going to be okay. And now I know I really have to watch my immunity. I really have to keep on top of my supplements, because if not, I'm going to end up back here. And I have had times when I've had a lot of stress that I do notice these little symptoms start to pop up again, but I know what to take to get rid of it. So just so you know, menopause doesn't hit everybody with hot flashes and insomnia and fatigue. There can be these crazy symptoms that are related to viruses or heavy metals. If anyone has any questions about this, just text me, DM me, and I'll be happy to help work with you. Okay? Bye.